one question. As Syed said, you have put up very good proposition. Whatever you said is very good. My only question is that you have given reference of so many cases and everything. My only question is that what prompts you to say that it is not a violation of our religious freedom? How do you justify the nexus?
सर, जैसा कि मैंने ये एस्टेब्लिश करने का प्रयास करा है कि ये पर्सनल लॉस को रिफॉर्म करेगा, और पहले हमको ये एस्टेब्लिश करना होगा कि जो पर्सनल लॉस आज हमारे पास मौजूद हैं, खासतौर से इस्लाम धर्म की मैंने बात करी है, क्या ये इस्लाम धर्म के बिलीफ का पार्ट है? क्या ये शरिया का पार्ट है? अगर ये शरिया का पार्ट है तो जो आर्टिकल 25 कहता है कि राइट टू प्रोपोगेट प्रैक्टिस योर रिलीजन बिलीफ, वहां पे उसकी बात हुई, क्या पर्सनल लॉस इस्लामिक रिलीजियस बिलीफ का पार्ट है? और अगर नहीं है तो ये पर्सनल लॉस को रिफॉर्म कर रहा है। और इसके बहुत सारे उदाहरण मौजूद हैं। आप देखिए ट्यूनीशिया देखिए, आप देखिए टर्की देखिए, बॉस्निया हर्जेगोविना, अजरबैजान, अल्बानिया, ऐसे बहुत सारे एग्जांपल हैं कि जहां मुस्लिम मेजॉरिटी देश, जहां पे शरीयत लागू है, लेकिन वहां पे सिविल लॉ सेकुलर बेसिस पे गवर्न हो रहे हैं और यूनिफाइड मैनर में गवर्न।
Okay, very good.
Any question?
Okay, judges give him score. So our 10th participant is Mohana Chaudhary.
Am I audible and visible?
Yeah.
Good evening, one and all present here. I'm Mohana Chaudhary. Today we gather not just to deliberate a constitutional question, but to confront the very soul of our republic. The question that we should ask ourselves: can equality and religious freedom work hand in hand, or must one surrender for the other to thrive? Before I delve into the speech, I would like to quote Dr. B.R. Ambedkar here. He said, and I quote, "I measure the progress of a country by the degree of progress that the women in the country have achieved." So far, I have already heard the speeches, but nobody has unfortunately mentioned about the plight of the women here. Now, the Uniform Civil Code, these three simple words have ignited a wildfire of debate. What do these three words mean? What is the significance? The term uniform means uniformity, maintaining a harmony, something that brings us within a common ground. Civil code means pertaining to our personal rights, means marriage, divorce, inheritance, or succession. Now, on one side of the debate stands the Article 44 of the DPSP, which is a guiding principle not enforceable. And on the other hand stands the Article 25 to 28, freedom of religion. And in between this stands the torn people who are in a dilemma about their own equality rights and the personal religious freedoms. Now, the entire debate can be harkened back to the British colonial era. The Britishers, they also faced a lot of difficulties while codifying the personal laws because there were differing opinions. And in the Constituent Assembly also, on the UCC, there were two sides. One side of the people, they opposed to the UCC, which included J.B. Kripalini, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, and Frank Anthony. On the other hand, the other group of people, they supported the implementation of the UCC. Because of such wide debate, they decided to keep it as a DPSP. Even in the Lex Lossy Law Report, it has been stated that personal laws should be kept distinct from this UCC. Now, we have to understand that what exactly UCC states. UCC is not all about religion. It's not uniform religious code, rather it's uniform civil code. Here we are talking about the girl in the Kerala, the widow in the Rajasthan, the woman in the Kashmir, who all want to be seen as equal as men because they haven't been given the rights. They haven't been given the same succession rights, inheritance rights. They are rightfully deserved. Now, India's constitution was crafted not to placate the fears of the past, but to inspire the future. Yet today, we still allow gender discriminatory practices to continue. We haven't forgotten the case of Shaila Banu. We haven't forgotten the case of Sharla Mudgal or Sahbanu. We know that how, in the name of religious practices, so many unethical practices have been continuing just to demean the women. Let's talk about the women here, because Uniform Civil Code is not about a religious debate here. It's about the plight of the women which they have been facing from time immemorial. Now, here the crux lies. The crux of the debate is whether it is undermining the basic structure doctrine which has been given birth from Keshavananda Bharati case. Let me tell you that constitutional morality and personal morality, these two things are distinct from each other. We should not keep personal morality over the constitutional morality. Basic structure doctrine consists of equality, secularism. These two things are coexisting. Now the question arises whether these two things are in clash with each other or not. The answer is no, because here we are not concerned about how we will be praying. Uniform Civil Code will not be governing that. Rather, it will be governing the marital relationship laws, the inheritance, the succession rights which the women are not getting. We have seen in the Sharla Muddal case that how court reiterated from time to time to implement the UCC. Now, I come to the conclusion that Uniform Civil Code does not mean, as I said, Uniform Religious Code. Now, is it not the time that we stop measuring justice in denominations of religion? This is not a majority bulldozing the minority. This is about us, the citizens. So today, let us not be afraid to ask a difficult question. Let us not fear being labeled, because India must choose between equality that liberates and the tradition that confines them, between a future of equal citizen or a past of unequal communities. Let us remember the Constitution is not a relic of our fears.
Mohana, your time is up.
Okay. Thank you.
Judges, do you have any questions?
No, I want to say something. You know,
Yes.
Mona, when we talk about Article 44, na, we always talk about that it's all related with religious freedom, है ना? We talk about the religious freedom. So, but in that no, we always क्या करते हैं कि we ignore the other aspect of Article 44. So I can say that we can just limiting the scope of this Article 44 when we talk about always the religious freedom, है ना? Now, when you speak and when you speak, then I think you presented other aspect also. And I think it's very good कि just don't talk about only the religious freedom. There are so many other things in which we have to talk. We should talk about those other aspects also because there is a wide scope of Article 44. तो आई थिंक इट्स वेरी गुड कि आपने दूसरी भी जो चीजें हैं उनके ऊपर भी बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान दिया एंड इट्स वेरी गुड सो जस्ट कीप इट अप
Thank you.
नाउ वी कैन मूव टू अदर पार्टिसिपेंट
Okay, so our 11th participant is Naitik Tandon. Our 12th participant is Naveendu Shekhar. Our 13th participant is Netra Pratap Singh.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good evening, everyone. I am here to speak on the topic of Uniform Civil Code and basic structure, conflict between freedom. This debate is not merely academic, it touches upon some of the most profound questions facing our legal system, our constitutional philosophy, and the very idea of India as a secular nation. Let me begin with the Uniform Civil Code and its constitutional context. Article 44 of Indian Constitution, found within the DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. The state shall endeavor to secure for the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. While this article is not justiciable, its presence is single a vision of a society governed by common civil laws. Yet, India's constitutional ethics is not built on the uniformity but diversity. The Constitution, in its wisdom, protects the right to freedom of religion under Article 25 to 28, giving individuals and communities the to profess and practice their faith. The dual commitment of Indian Constitution, one is equality before law and the other is religious freedom, creates a complex legal landscape, particularly when it comes to personal laws. Personal laws in, means in India, the personal laws are separate for, for all religions like Hindus, Muslims, Christians, and Parsis, and other communities are governed by different legal frameworks concerning marriage, divorce, inheritance, guardianship, and adoption. These laws are derived from religious texts and customs. In many cases, codified laws are presented, just as Hindu Marriage Act 1955 and Muslim Personal Law, the Sharia Application Act 1937, and the Indian Christian Marriage Act 1872, and many more. And the coexistence of these personal laws under the umbrella of secular constitution presents a paradox. Also, the basic structure of doctrine. In a landmark case, Iswaran Bharti versus 1973, the Supreme Court laid down the basic structure of doctrine, holding that Parliament cannot amend the Constitution in any way that destroys or damages its essential features.
Sorry
The
for the disturbance, but only 1 minute is left.
okay, among the basic structure of doctrine includes equality before law, secularism and freedom of religion, rule of law and judicial review. And the Article 14 and 15 said about the equality, and Articles 25 to 28 are uh, freedom for religion and cultural rights. Also, the UCC Article 14. Thank you, judges, for hearing me, my speech.
Okay, Netra Pratap Singh, your time is up. Judges, do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, Netra Pratap Singh. Our last participant is Pathalapattu Hema Vikant Narayan. Jayanto Khushi Kumari, Naitik Tandon, नवेंदु शिखर, कोथालापुत्तु हेमा विकांत नारायण. कोई भी अगर इधर है इन सारे कंटेस्टेंट्स में से पार्टिसिपेंट्स में से, तो प्लीज स्टार्ट कर दीजिए अपनी स्पीच. I repeat, Jayanto Khushi Kumari, Naitik Tandon, Navendu Shekhar, Puthalaputtu Hema Vikant Narayan, कोई है इधर? अगर तो फिर आप अपनी स्पीच स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं. दिव्यांशु, आई डोंट थिंक सो कि ये लोग आएंगे. हाँ दिव्य. Okay. So I request to Syed Anwar Alim sir, please open your mic and
युसरा, आप अगर शुभम सर अवेलेबल हैं तो आप उनसे स्टार्ट कीजिए. मैं बस 5 मिनट में आपसे.
okay.
ठीक है.
So okay, no problem, sir. So I request Shubham sir. So please, can you elaborate anything?
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you so much. So it has been a wonderful evening, evening listening to different perspectives of uniform civil code and doctrine of basic structure, the interplay. We are also as panelists, one among the panelists in the judge. I was also pleased to hear about two foreign students speaking on Indian UCC and taking up the matter. It's really appreciable and commendable. When I was hearing one of the contestant, if I'm not mistaken, she's Mohana. So when I was hearing her, I truly second what Kalpana ma'am has said. Ki UCC is not about only the religious perspective. It is so many perspectives are into it, and truly Mohana has pointed out all those several factors which were which addresses UCC. Basically, UCC is something what everyone thinks about as, but it's between the Hindu and the Muslims, but it is not so. There are so many factors that are connected with UCC. It would be if the only purpose of UCC, if we see it from the religious angle and make UCC merely a Hindu-Muslim debate, we fail after 76 years of independence. We fail with Constitution as the supreme law of the land. We do not stand by it. It is so very true into it. UCC deals with marriage, guardianship, adoption, succession. So many matters are included into it. We also have to think, because since we live in 21st century, we also need to think moving beyond binary gender. In our constitution, we see the word sex. No person can be discriminated on the grounds of so many factors. One among the factor is sex. Now, sex is something which is biologically attributed to human beings. Over a passage of time, the society also puts a tag to certain persons. So gender is something which is not biologically attributed. We also need to think on that particular perspective also, whether we are incorporating the LGBTQ community within the umbrella of UCC or not, because they will also be subject to marriage, divorce, adoption, guardianship, succession. So many things are connected into it. It is true that the two largest more practicing communities in India have pros and cons are there. There are things which are okay with it. There are things which are not okay with it. That does not mean that I look down upon one particular religious community as spreading hate and another one religious community who stands for spreading the peace. It is never like that. None of the religion teaches to spread hate. It is as we as individuals, we do not, uphold to our ideology, we do not uphold to our religion that we preach, profess, and propagate at the end of the day. So it is again, it has to be, analyzed from this perspective that when we speak about basic structure, we are basically talking about the essential element of the constitution. Basic structure is something which is not destructible. I mean, I can amend the entire constitution, but I have no power to destroy the basic structure. This is what Keshavananda Bharati has given to us. and we cherish it after 52 years of judgment. We cherish the judgment. On the same tone, when people are made to override their custom and follow a law, and the law, if that is violating the custom, it is an indirect attack on freedom to preach, profess, and propagate their own religion. That is where the question of basic structure is coming into being. Or else Article 44 is non-obligatory in nature. It is not mandatory in nature. It is not enforceable in the court of law. I mean, who is there in the who is that person on the arts setting to figure out ki, acha, this is UCC is coming. Let us go and file a writ petition stating that Part 3 is violated. No one is concerned about it. That is where the root lies when we speak about UCC vis-a-vis the doctrine of basic structure. The only solution to this is, not applying the law, not implementing the law forcefully, rather through discussion, through mutual understanding, respecting each other's religion, customary practices, and then framing a very concrete, very well drafted, calculated policy so that it is not against any one of the religion, it is not violating any customary practice. At the same point of time, it is not also giving preference to arbitrary practices and customs. That is from my end. Thank you, Yusra.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Now I request Kalpana Vishnoi ma'am. Uh, can you say some on this topic?
Actually, my point was also same. That UCC is not about the religious freedom. And now there are so many aspects too, or like same-sex marriage or adoption in specifically in Muslim law. There is no concept of adoption and all about lot of Muslim law is not codified. Then my concern is the UCC is much bigger than these small topics or small concerns. So now it's all about freedom of religion in one hand, but on the other side, it's how you can approach the court and how you can आप कैसे अपने rights or fundamental rights को how you can approach the court in various matters like adoption or inheritance. All the person who are living as a citizen in India all should have same and similar rights. And I think Shubham sir or Anwar sir, they can more talk about this topic. They have efficiency or so much proficiency in this topic too. So I think you should talk to Anwar sir.
Yes, so as Shubham sir and Kalpana ma'am said about this, and I must say Mohana, the participant named Mohana, she was the only contestant who talked about a wider perspective of UCC. Like the objective of UCC is far more than Hindu and Muslim laws. Like if we talk about, we cannot deny that there are religious practices in every religion which are quite discriminatory. And when people say ki it violates our right to profess our freedom of religion, I strongly disagree on this point because there are certain practices in respective religions which make discrimination on the basis of, sex. And as Shubham said one thing, it talks about gender justice, talks about maintenance, inheritance, and when inter-religious marriages comes into place, like then we should be having some law which can tell ki how the maintenance or how the succession of the property will take place. And if uniform civil code is not there, then there will be a discrepancy and uncertainty about these topics. So UCC promotes, first of all, obviously gender justice. Apart from that, they provide a basic and simplified framework for the governance of these topics like inheritance, succession, maintenance. In case of a marriage of a Hindu male and a Muslim female, if they get divorced, how will be the maintenance taking place, how will be the succession of the property taking place. So yes, as Mohana said, and as Shubham sir and Kalpana ma'am said, UCC is far more bigger than just Hindu Muslim or two religions. So yeah, that's what I have to say about this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, honorable judges, and thank you so much, all the participants. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us in this episode. Uh, thank you so much, and have a good day. Thank you so much.